Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lost Boyz Podcast, episode 28. I glanced at it real quick.
See, now in case we ever need to remember, it's right there, and right there.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, welcome back to episode 28. Gianni.
Brandon.
Welcome. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, turn the post notifications on so you get notified every time we post, which is every Thursday at 12 p.m. Am I forgetting something? TikTok. Follow us on TikTok, Lost Boyz Podcast. We have a few shorts, but we're going to start posting more content out on short form platforms, I guess, maybe clips too. Some discussions going on in the off camera. Yeah. So there's some ideas flowing around that might start happening very soon.
Be on the lookout. By the time this airs, it will be up. Follow us on social medias, like you mentioned. Either one of us, so you can be updated on when the Google link goes live, to where anything you want to talk about, any topics, anything you're going on in your life that you want to hear a different opinion on, you can drop it in that little Google link or Google form, I think it's called. It will be anonymous, so we won't know who dropped it in there. If you want to keep yourself private, totally cool. A lot of people, want to hear what we have to say, but don't want us to don't want people to know exactly what they're going through. Totally understandable. We thought about you, so be on the lookout for that. It'll be on the socials.
Yeah. So it could be any idea you have. It could be anything you're going through that you want to hear somebody else's perspective on. Whatever it may be, just throw that in there. Just try to be serious.
Yeah.
But
don't fucking ask me about the queen dying. All right. I'm not talking about that. I don't give a fuck. Don't. Relevant shit.
With that being said, welcome to episode 28.
28.
Today's episode, as you can tell by the title, is about why do people lie?
Lying.
Or just overall, lying in general. So, to start it off, my question to you is, why do you think people lie?
I think it's a desperation thing. I think we as human beings, right? Because not that I'm out here lying, but I'm no better than anybody else. I think it comes down to we try to be perfect in so many situations that if we're not, we come up with a lie to be perfect in that situation, which is so counterintuitive because now you're lying. You're further from the truth. You're further from perfection.
Do you lie?
As often? No, I was about to say as often as you think. Nah, I really don't. And not to say I never have. I really don't now, because somewhere at the end of high school, I was like, yo, as a guy at least, I feel like our word is all we have. So anytime I speak, it's like, for me, it's like as if it was carved in stone. Like, if this is what I say to people. If I lie to you, I'm not disrespecting you. I'm disrespecting me. I'm telling you I'm not worth enough for you to listen to what I have to say.
That's true. That's actually a really good point. I never thought of it that way. It's more disrespectful to yourself than anything.
It is. Every lie you tell decreases your own value, right? So for me, there are situations where it may seem more convenient, like, yeah, I fucked up, I should probably tell a lie. No, just as much as you fucked up in that situation, that's your opportunity to be courageous and, stand on your morals and stand on, you know what, yeah, I fucked up. And I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation over text months ago where it was like, yo, being straight up about a fuck up is always better than the cover up getting blown up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that too. I don't remember the conversation, but I do agree with that. I agree in the sense, like, I think if you try to lie, it's worse if you get caught in the lie versus you just flat out be like, yo, listen, I fucked up. It is what it is. Like, whether man or woman, doesn't matter. Just like, yo, I fucked up. Or, I probably shouldn't curse so much on YouTube, but damn, I messed up or whatever. And I think even if somebody, like, cuts you off, it tarnishes everything. At least you stuck to yourself and your word. You like, stayed 10 toes down. You didn't fold. I feel like once you start lying, you start folding. But do you think there are certain instances where it's justified to lie, or it's okay to lie in that sense?
okay to lie, like instances where it's okay to lie, I'm pretty sure there are scenarios where it's like, all right, maybe now's not the time for this, or maybe like I'm gonna hold my tongue. But for me personally, and this applies to me, even when I know now's not the time, I can't listen, I know you're down bad, bro. Like, I get it. She broke up with you, but like, bro, I just found out X, Y, and Z. Like, you know the saying, like, don't kick a man while he's down. Mm-hmm. Like, nah, I'm. This is everything. Deal with everything. Let's get through it now, right? Yeah. So,
what's like an example of a moment where you yourself maybe won't lie, but you can see how other people can justify lying in that moment? Like, what's like a good example of that?
A good example of that. Let me see. Let's say you come to me and you're just like fucked up. Like, yo, it's been a shitty day, right? It's be like, this is going to be similar to what I just said, but like, yo, you're fucking going through it. Mm-hmm. And I, let's say, find out that your girl was cheating on you, right? I don't know. I'm freestyling this shit, right? Uh-huh. But let's say, like, I find out, right? But you're telling me, like, yo, fucking, my cat just died. My pet rock drowned, right? I don't know how I'm going to manage, right? A lot of people will withhold the truth. Because to me, withholding the truth is still lying, right? Give and take, like.
Why do you say that?
Because if you're talking to me and you're so sure about something, but I know something that disproves what you believe, and you're my boy, I should tell you, rather than letting you go on that like belief system. Mm-hmm. So obviously you got to know your audience, know who you're talking to, but like if it's your boy, or if it's your best friend or your girl, anything like that, like. And by girl, I mean girlfriends. Nah. If you're my boy and you're talking to me like that, I feel like if I have your best interest at heart, I won't withhold anything. That
just let it be known.
Yeah, like yo, bro, I get what you're saying, but also account for this too, right? Like that's just me. I know a lot of people like to like stay out of things, but if it's my boys, your business is my business. All right, what is you talking about?
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. I'm trying to think of ways to like play devil's avocado. The thing is like
that's got to be a hoodie.
Devil's avocado. The thing is I agree with you. Like I myself, I'm not a person who lies or lies often, especially like little white lies. Like to me, that if anything pisses me off more than anything is when somebody tells me a little white lie over something I wouldn't have cared about to begin with, because then I'm like, why'd you like that? I don't care. Like, but the fact that you lied, now I'm angry. Like now I'm like, get out of my life. Like if you feel the need to lie over like the tiniest thing like that, then imagine the other things you're lying about. It's probably far more like egregious and worse. So I hate little white lies. So for me, like I don't really lie. And, like that's just how I was raised to not lie, and I really don't. But I have found myself in certain instances doing those little lies. But it was never with people I was like super close with. Yeah. It was more like acquaintances. And it wasn't so much like a lie that I'm pretending. It's more just like I'm withholding the information. Yeah. I'm just like, instead of going into this argument of like this, and this, I'm just going to let you rock and let you believe what you want. And I'm going to just take the high road and walk away. Mm-hmm. Like I talked with you and a cousin of ours about that recently. Like, like, I could have been very blunt and honest about a decision I just made. But I was like, you know what? I know what I know. I don't need to tell you what I know. I'm going to just take the high road and walk away. And I don't know if maybe that could be classified as lying, because I guess it is, because I was asked why and I didn't give the real reason why. Yeah. So I guess I did lie. But it was for that reason. So I don't know how. I mean, a lie is still a lie, but maybe you guys can comment down below and let me know, and I can change and take more accountability going forward. But do you think that's, and I guess there's not much background information on it either, but do you think that's a bad lie? It's more of like a morality thing for me. It was like, look, I know the truth. I know why. I don't think me telling you why is going to make a difference or help anything or make anything change. So I'm just going to take the high road and I'm just going to walk away, let you think what you want, and I'm going to go do me, and we're going to go our separate ways. I don't know if that's like a bad way to go about it. I personally don't think it is. I think it's, for me at least, the more reasonable way, in my opinion. But it's still a lie. Yeah. Because I'm not telling them the real reason why. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's my whole reasoning behind why I do it. Because I know no matter what I say, the outcome isn't going to change. Like, this is the way it, like, I'm making this decision regardless, whether I tell you why, the real reason why, or if I tell you a different reason why, a semi-truthful reason why. So it's like, it's still not going to change my decision at the end of the day. So do I just take the high road, which is a lie, or do I tell the semi-truth, which is also somewhat, to an extent, still a lie, but also somewhat truthful? So I don't know. It's got me thinking about that now. Exactly
the position you're in, or you're discussing, right? There's a philosopher whose name I can't remember. He probably lived like 4,000 years ago. You know how these philosophers be, right? But he said, take a man who has the power, like all the power, like a god on earth, right? And he can wipe any person out, right? You know what? You looked at me the wrong way. Bam, you don't exist anymore, right? Let's say Thanos pulled up, right? He can just like wipe anybody out, right? And he himself, who just wipes anybody out, wipes everybody out, is weak because he cannot control power. Power itself is being able to control the strength. It's being able to make decisions like that, where you know you can say something that will have a negative outcome for a opposing party that maybe deserves it, maybe doesn't, right? But you can control it. That's power. That's morality. It's not just because... This is about to be a wild out of left field connection. But remember when you told me it's not about the way you move, it's about the way you control? If you can just throw the bench up, right? Cool. Like, you're just going to end up hurting yourself, right? Like, there's a lot of downsides that comes to that. But if you can do that weight and slowly move it and slowly control it, that's fucking strength. Like, there's this motherfucker at the gym who puts on like 3 plates on each side and lets it sit on his chest and then just pushes it. Like, that's fucking impressive, right? It's being able to control what you know you can do and can get out of it and can cause. That's the power. That's the difference between, like, a fucking soldier and a general. The general knows what they can do, knows their strength, but has to be very calculated about it. Yeah. I don't know if that made any sense. I botched the shit out of that. That made perfect sense. It was a great example because it for me at least, it solidified my reasoning behind it. So like for me, it was more like confirming my original thought process behind it. But I was just curious because like I was asking you for an example of when it's okay to lie in a sense. And although it is the the right thing to do, like morally, it's still a lie. Yeah. So then I guess in that instance, it could be justifiable in a sense. I guess when it is I don't think lying is good, but I guess if it's in a situation where the outcome isn't going to change if you lie or not, I guess I don't know. I guess it still depends because whether you tell the truth or not, nothing's going to change. So why are you holding back the truth? Nothing's going to change. So I can see both perspectives. I can see why somebody might say like, oh no, but it's still bad because you're lying. And I can also see why somebody says, well, actually, it's the good reason because you know how to control yourself. Like, you're not, it's not like vengeful in a sense. It's like when people get broken up with, right? Usually, let's say one person in the relationship cheated, that other person tends to go out and just out. Like, they just go crazy and just start sleeping with people and doing crazy because they think that they're going to hurt the other person by doing that. But instead, all they're doing is hurting themselves more. So that's the way, like, I see it. If I can't change the outcome, it's like,
why am I going to go step out of character, or why am I going to go let this be known if it's not going to change what already happened or the decision that's already made up? So I'm going to just take it on the chin and just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Or maybe what I'm saying is just somebody's watching this like, what the hell is this dude saying right now? This dude's just saying words. But I don't know. To me, it's making sense. But I can also see both perspectives on it, where somebody thinks, nah, you still should tell the truth. And somebody's like, actually, no, I think it's more of a power thing where, like, you know, and you're willing to just hold back, and you don't feel the need to prove people wrong. You just kind of go the other way. I agree more with this side.
See, I think...
But I can see this perspective, too.
Yeah. See, I think that other person, right, the one that you just described, where it's like, I don't need that, the validation of knowing that I'm getting back at that person. That's a bad motherfucker. And you know why? It's funny because you're trying not to curse. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, right? The reason why I say like that person's like bad, like, or a badass is because you can't be swayed. You can't be swayed by external forces, right? At the end of the day, another very tough lesson and I'm going to say for guys to learn specifically, just because most of the people with anger issues are guys, but this applies to women too. A tough pill to swallow is when you can't control when you get angry or when something makes you make a decision outside of character, then you are weak. If I know a button that I can push that will make you act out of character, guess what? I control you.
Yeah.
I can... Oh, yeah, damn, yo.
This is the puppet show.
Yeah.
I'm the one pulling the strings and you're the puppet flying around like that.
Yeah, like, that's why, like, they say, like, but shout out to elementary school, right? Bullying builds character. What's it called?
It does.
When they say, like, oh, pay no mind, like, you're giving them the reaction they want. That's actually true. Like, when that bully, right, comes up to you and is, like, bothering you, and you act out and you start crying, you're running around or whatever, you throw a tantrum, right? You're giving them what they want. They wanted you to act out of character. Mm-hmm. Insert that second person that you mentioned. They're like, all right, whatever. Like, the fuck? Like, yo, who is this guy, right? Mm-hmm. But you keep going about your business. That's like that. It's like, oh, shit. You start to realize people admire that because people lack that quality.
Yeah. I think one of the, like, it's funny, like, especially if somebody's getting bullied. Like, I think one of the scariest things that could happen to a bully is them try to bully somebody. And then that person, like, nice and calmly just, like, take off their stuff and just be like, all right, let's go. Mm-hmm. As the bully, they're probably like, why the F is this person so calm right now? Like, maybe am I making a mistake? And you just, like, you weakened them mentally enough where now you could compete. And who knows, maybe you kick their ass and they never bully you again.
It's true.
Then you get older and then they have respect for you all of a sudden. But anyways, I think, like, that's the way I think about it. Like, somebody who's, like, yelling a lot, they're being controlled by their emotions.
It's
Whereas
true.
Like somebody who's quiet and calm and like very conscious of what they're about to do and is getting prepared to do what they're gonna do, like calmly, I'm like, that's probably somebody you shouldn't be fucking with. Because they're not acting out of emotion. They're actually about it.
They've thought this out. Like they're prepared. It's true though. Ooh, excuse me. Like, acting in emotion only leads to bad decisions and bad words. Yeah. And that's something that at 23 years of life, 22 probably, yeah, around there, in the 22 to 24 range, it was like a eye-opening thing to me where it's like, yo, acting out of emotion, like, literally gets you nowhere. You, like, I get angry. Now the first thing I do is, all right, let me take a step back. Like, if I'm really feeling a kind of way, I gotta take a step back. Like a chess game, I gotta assess. Let me look at the board. Where are my pieces? Like, what's going on, right? Why am I feeling this way? As to before, and you know this, I would get very aggressive, like that, and that's never a good quality, right? Because that's a very dangerous, like, quality to have. And I can say, like, yo, in the last, like, 2 to 3 years, there are moments where I've gotten angry where I could have done something really dumb, and it's just like, you take that step back, you analyze, and it's just like,
you realize it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger picture. There's moments where it is necessary, and then there's 99% of other moments where it's avoidable. But I think a lot of that, and especially just like not being able to control your emotion, also plays into why people lie too.
Yep.
Because they get caught in this emotional state, whether it be like it doesn't have to be like an angry or sad, but they're in some kind of emotion where they feel their best option, their only option is to lie, because that's going to save them. And it's not only until later when they come back to their senses that they realize that wasn't the best choice. And instead of just admitting, you know what, I messed up, I shouldn't have said that, it was actually not true, this is why I said this and that. Instead, they double down on the lie and make it worse. Like, nothing's worse than when you know somebody's lying and then they double down on the lie and you're like, bro, I would have respect for you if you just admitted it. Now I have zero respect for you. Like, now I don't respect you at all. Like, now you're no different than that homeless man on the street. I don't have respect for you. And sorry if somebody claims to be an empath, which I went over. I talked about that last episode, right?
Did we?
Empathy versus sympathy.
Oh, yeah.
Empath. Sorry, I don't respect the homeless man because they put themselves in that situation. Anyways, that's a whole different conversation, and not to get sidetracked. But I think a lot of lying comes from people not understanding either their emotions, other people's emotions, or how to even control emotions in general. Like, they just don't have an understanding of it. And I think a lot of it is because they don't try to understand their emotions. They just react to their emotions. They're very reactive people. They don't analyze, why is this happening? What is causing this? What is the best? Okay, let me lay out what are the best possibilities and options I can do and go from there. And the more you do that, the quicker that starts to process in your brain, where in quick situations and high pressure situations, you can come up with answers quick without stepping out of character or having to act in an emotional way where you can also pick up like somebody's testing you, right? Like, I can tell when somebody's like asking me something because they think I'm lying and they want to know if I'm going to actually lie about it, but they know the answer. And then I tell them the truth and I can see the reaction on their face and they're like confused. They're like, damn, I don't know how to go about this now. And I just sit there just straight face staring at them like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm a very blunt person, at least in real life. I don't know how I come off on camera, but in real life, for the most part, with people I like really like mess with and like that are close to me, I'm very blunt. Like, I'll tell you straight up, look, this and that. Like, one of my friends, for example, I don't know if he's gonna watch this or not. He got a ticket, right? It was called misbehaving because he threw up in public, which is a weird ticket to get. But anyways, like, sorry.
Gives me elementary school vibes.
Yeah, sorry, my natural biology made me regurgitate whatever I just put down my throat. But
hey, yo.
But anyways, the reason why he threw up was because he was drinking a lot, and he was mad at the people that called the cops and the cops for giving him the ticket. However, he was explaining this, and right, the natural reaction as a friend is to be like, yeah, like, fuck them, bro, like, that's bullshit. Because in a sense, like, yes, is it necessary to give the ticket? No. But when you really break it down, he was at fault.
Yeah.
Don't drink that much. So I told him that. I was like, yo, like, I get you're mad, and to an extent, like, I agree. It is a bit egregious to go that far to give somebody
a whole ticket. Like,
a whole $500 ticket for throwing up. But at the same time, you need to take accountability. You shouldn't drink. If you're going to drink to that point where you throw up, then you shouldn't be drinking. Or you shouldn't be going out to drink that much. Right? You got to take some responsibility. And he didn't like it, but I don't care. I'm still going to tell you that because I'm cool with you. Now, if you're somebody I don't know or like an acquaintance that I see every now and then, that's a situation where I might just let it rock. And just like, oh, I'll just let him believe what he wants to believe. I'm not going to let everybody know, no, this, like, that's not me. I'm just going to sit back quiet, let them say what they want. I know what I know. I'm going to just keep it moving. But, yeah.
See, I like what you said there because this is a conversation that I was having with Jeremy too recently where it's like, as your boy, right? I do believe it is my job to check you if I feel like you're out of line. But at the same time, it's not my job to embarrass you. So I like the way you said that because it's like, yeah, like if we're all like together, right? Whatever. It's just like, yeah. But like behind closed doors, like, yo, bro, like, don't you think like maybe you shouldn't drink this much next time? Like that, if you don't have people around you I just spit everywhere. If you don't have people around you that are willing to do that, you need a new circle of fucking people, because there's a lot of yes men in the world. It takes balls for somebody to be like, yo, dude, yeah, like, I get it, you feel a kind of way, but you know you're wrong, right? Like, or at least consider this, like, this perspective, right? Bam, 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 X, Y, and Z. Because those are the people that are going to open your mind. Those yes men, like, yeah, fuck the cop for doing their job, right? Like, think about that for a second, right? So, and sometimes maybe you are right. Maybe it was very unjust, or maybe, like, whatever. Like, sometimes you are going to be right, but most of the time in life, I feel like we're wrong. And that's the issue, where we get told that we're right so often by the people we keep around us that we forget that we can even be wrong.
Yeah, and that brings me to, like, my whole reasoning as to why I think people lie, because I think people don't want to, they're either afraid, or just in general they don't want to take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything always comes back down to accountability. It's always easier to point my finger at somebody else than to point it at myself.
Yeah.
No one wants to point the finger at themselves saying, no, I fucked up. It was me. I messed up. My bad. It's really not that big of a deal. Once you start doing it, you realize, why were they doing that before? But everybody's afraid to point the finger at themselves. So they find every reason to point it at someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And in that situation, it's very easy to point the finger at somebody else and say, like, oh, like, why are you calling the cops on me? You don't see that I had to throw up? Why are you giving me a ticket? I just had to throw up. Like, there's a lot of excuses as to pointing to somebody else as to, like, why these things happen. But I think a lot of people forget to point at themselves, like, okay, what did I do that could have prevented this from happening? And not too many people think of that. And I think that's where lying stems from, because people don't want to take the accountability for the fuck-ups in their life. It makes it easier for them to swallow that pill if they can trick their mind to believe that it was because of somebody else they failed, not because of themselves. Like, for example, with this job, right? I guess I'm kind of exposing some of it that I wasn't going to, but I, myself, right, I feel like I was being held back and my hands were tied.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I didn't feel like I had the freedom to do the things I wanted to do, and therefore it was detrimental to my success. However, I didn't just completely stop and just give it up like that. Like, I still tried my best to do my best with what I was given and what I was allowed to do. And I just found, like, yo, it's just not working.
Yeah.
And I can take some accountability to myself, right? I can say, you know what? I could have gone harder. But I also know that, yes, this also did exist, right? Where the things I wanted to do and that I expressed wasn't working for me wasn't being heard. And more than anything, that wasn't being understood. So, because it could have been heard, but it was not being understood correctly. So, could I just point my finger at that person and say, no, it's that person's fault that I didn't succeed in this job? Yes, I could. But is that also true? No. I could point it at myself too and say, you know what? Although this, and this was tied, and although I did give a lot of my effort into it, I still could have given more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, like, I think you have to be real with yourself too. Like, and too many people don't want to do that. And I think, like I said, not that I think, well, I guess I think, because I don't really know for a fact, but I believe that's where the lying stems from, and that's why people lie so much. And then once you start, it's like anything. Once you do it once, it becomes easier.
Yep.
Once you get through that first time, the second time is easier, then the third time, and then before you know it, you're blind to it. You don't even realize you're doing it. You just do it.
That inch very quickly becomes a mile.
Yeah, it just becomes second nature to you. You don't think about doing it. You just do it, kind of thing. And I think lying is like, I think no one should lie, right? Obviously, this isn't a utopia. People are going to lie. And more than not, it's going to be people lying. Like, the majority of the time, people will be lying. Whether that's about their status, about the money they have, about their dating life, about anything. Yeah. Anything. People will lie. And I don't know, my advice to everyone watching or listening is just, there will be moments where you might feel like your only option is to lie. just try to decrease those moments as much as possible, and just try to be as truthful as possible, because the more truthful you are to others, the more likely you're going to be truthful to yourself, and the more truthful to yourself you are, the more, I guess, the happier your life is going to be.
True.
Because when you can take accountability for your fuck ups, you're going to know, okay, I as this person need to make the change and do something different. Whereas if I keep blaming other people, I'm just going to assume like, no, I'm perfect. I just haven't found the right person to bring my perfectness out. No, you're not perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. You're not perfect. We're not perfect. I may say something that offends somebody. You may say something that offends somebody. I might have a belief that you don't like. You may have a belief that I don't like. We're not perfect. This isn't a utopia. So like, just be real with yourself and be real with others, and you'll see how much will change in your life. And you also be able to realize how much is so much bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Like how much it really is not that big of a deal. Like when you really start to see the bigger picture in life, you realize, bro, what are you, like, why? Why are you doing the things you do? And people do dumb shit all the time. And I'm just like, why? Like if you just analyze and see the bigger picture, life is so much better on the other side.
99% of it's all up here.
Everything's all up there. It's all mental.
It's true. It's all mental.
Yeah. But
that's going to be a great episode.
Yeah. But anyways, to segue into my second question, well, I guess I've asked multiple, but the second question I had in mind when we first started was, why do you think people lie about other people? And like, you know, like, for example, like gossip, right? Or rumors. You know, somebody spreads a rumor that's not true, and they say this, and that. Or if not, they'll see somebody like us, for example, right? I don't know if this is a thing or not. I haven't, if it has happened, I haven't noticed. Also, I don't give a shit. But like they see us, right, having a YouTube channel. Other people start talking bad about us. Start making, no, those dudes are corny.
Yeah.
Right? Why do you think people do that? Because I have my answer. I just want to know what you think.
I think to an extent, it's a level of, I feel like it's derived from competitiveness. Like I'm looking at you as maybe you might be slightly better than me. Maybe you might be doing something I wish I could do, and maybe jealousy, right? But at the end of the day, it's a need to decrease your status so I can feel better. A lot of people will talk shit about somebody that's succeeding to bridge the gap between them. Like, yo, they started a podcast, right? You know what? Damn, man. Like, but guess what? Yo, that dude, ugly ass forehead, right? Or ugly ass hair, right? Whatever it may be, right? Complete bullshit off the top of my head. But at the end of the day, they need to reinforce that person is flawed to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, and I agree. I was going to say something I was going to say that actually, but I was going to use the term mirroring, where they look at somebody else doing something as almost a mirror. And the only thing is the reflection is not a reflection of themselves. It's a reflection of the person they wish they could be. And it doesn't necessarily mean the person they're looking at is like this great person that is so much better than them. It just means this person is doing things that they haven't built the courage to do. And so to make themselves feel better, it's just that they then start talking shit. They start making up lies. Because if they know if people don't support and it fails, then it's like, you see, I knew people couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because they believe they can't do it. So seeing somebody else they know doing it is almost like, no, that's not possible kind of thing. And that's why I think other people lie and gossip. It's just like, it's jealousy, envy, all that stuff. And then it's just, people are very insecure about themselves. Imagine, if you can't tell yourself the truth, how can you handle seeing somebody else succeed doing something that you dream to make happen, but you never take action to make happen?
Yeah.
You know?
The insecurity thing is so fucking important because it's something to keep in mind when you look at the way people make their decisions. Because if you read people's actions, you can start pinpointing things about people, right? Like certain people, a lot of people who go to the gym because they're fucking insecure. right? At some level, the gym is a result of insecurity, right? I got in the gym because I was like, yo, I'm skinny as fuck, man. Like, bam, into the gym, right? I would say more often than just, oh, I just want to be healthy, right? I think that's what it becomes. I think the initial entrance is a level of insecurity. But in general, people, right? That's why women wear makeup. Because at the end of the day, oh, I'm insecure about my insert some female feature here, right? Society is built on insecurities. Like, it really is. It's why we flex cars. It's why the conversation we had this morning. Competing and glorifying.
Oh, like hood culture, rap culture, like just, I don't know if I could say SIMP culture. I don't know if YouTube will flag it for that. I know.
Because
are sensitive.
Talk about fucking sensitive. What's it called? It's like, it all comes from insecurity. Like, yo, having to make sure I look like I'm the best. It's the entire basis of our society right now.
And it's such a flawed, like, structure. Like, I feel the need that I have to look like I'm that person. Instead, I should just become that person.
Yeah.
Then I won't need to look like it because I already am it. The people who feel the need to look like it are not it. So once something gets proven that they're not it, they crumble to pieces. Yep. But if the person actually built themselves, man or woman, to be that person that they desire to be, then it doesn't matter. You almost become bulletproof. It's like people could shoot at you, say anything you want, but you're just gonna, I'm chilling, bro. This is me. I'm him.
Yeah. I'm him.
I'm him. But yeah, I wanted to bring up a quote. I brought it up to you before last week, but I want to bring it up because I mentioned how people are become insecure because they see other people succeeding and they don't believe it's possible, so they feel the need to lie and all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't want to take action. I think, well, at least for me, it was a really good quote, and the quote was, "By not taking action becomes the action."
Mm.
And I don't know, for me, it makes perfect sense. It's like, okay, by me not taking action to become that person I'm looking at and I'm like, damn, I wish I was them, or by me not taking action by being real with myself or any of that, I'm taking the action of the opposite, the opposing. So although you may think you're not taking action, you're always taking a action. Are you taking the correct action, though? So everything is an action. You're always taking action. You're just taking the wrong action.
Yep.
And that's why you're not where you want to be, right? Or that's why you're not there yet, per se, right? Because I'll use myself as an example. I'm not where I want to be. I went into this previous job with a certain mindset, like, and even recently, it wasn't until recently, like, everything changed. And I'm like, damn. But the action did bring me further, or at least I feel it brought me further to my goal. So I think I took the right action. However, had I not done that, I would have taken an action still. It could have been the wrong action, right? This podcast, this was an action we took. We could have not done this.
Mm-hmm.
We would have taken action that 28 weeks later doesn't exist, right? So now we don't have 65 subscribers. We still have 0 because we don't exist, right? I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but I just thought the quote, for me at least, it hits hard. No. I don't know if it hits hard for other people. Might listen to it and just be like, sounds stupid. But for me, I think it hits hard because, like, whenever you don't take action, you're actually taking an action. Every action you take, everything you do is an action. It's just some are positive actions, some are negative actions. So if you know what you need to do is a positive one, then do that action. Like, why? By not doing it, you're creating negative actions.
Nah, I really like that quote because it's exactly what you said. You're making a choice to stay who you are, and that becomes who you are. Or by choosing not to do the things that you know you should do, you're choosing to reinforce who you are and going to solidify that this is who you are. When you choose not to do anything, gotta understand that was an option. That was a choice. You could have put yourself through life pain, right, to get where you wanted to go, but instead you chose not to do that. You chose to stay who you are. You chose to stay in this position.
Yeah. And with that being said, stop lying.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, like I just said before, we're not all perfect human beings. There are moments where we just get caught in emotion and we snap. Mm-hmm. We don't even think about it. It just happens. But it's trying to control those as much as we can that'll progress us further in life. And I think one of the things that'll help is to stop lying, not only to other people, but more than anything, to yourself. Because I think lying to yourself is going to put you in that spiral where it's going to be really hard to get out of if you don't try to stop. Be real with you. Be real with others. And people will be real with you. And when they're not, you'll be able to pick it up. So I think, right? Yeah. I don't know. At least in my experience, I think I pick up other people's energy and like whether they're being real with me or not very quickly because I'm very real with myself and I don't lie to myself. Like if I question whether somebody's being real to me and I'm like, no, I don't think they're real or whatever. But let's say it's a girl, right? And I think she's playing games or whatever. Like she's not really who she's portraying herself to be. I trust myself. I believe in myself. I'm not going to lie to myself. So when myself is telling me, yo, just move on to the next, I listen to myself and I move on to the next. And so far, I haven't been wrong. But there have been moments where I didn't listen and it bit me in the ass. And I'm like, fuck. So if I'm real with me, then I can tell when other people are being real with me too. And I can surround myself with just realness overall. Anyways, I don't know if I've made any sense at all throughout this entire episode. I hope I did. I hope I articulated what I was trying to say very well. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm not good at articulating. I don't know. You guys let me know. I'll work on it. But yeah, bottom line, just stop lying. In my personal opinion, I don't think it gets you anywhere. And I know it's kind of hypocritical because I just brought up a situation where I did lie. Mm-hmm. But I think that is a moment where I would say it's justifiable. But I can also see where somebody says, no, you're wrong. It's not justifiable. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. But I want to know what you guys think about that in the comments. Because I want to hear different perspectives as to why you think that and what your approach towards it is and how it's worked out for you in your life. And go from there. Because maybe what I'm saying right now just works for me. It doesn't apply to everyone. Very possible. But I don't know. I just think lying doesn't get you anywhere. And lying to yourself, it's even worse. Like, if you lie to yourself, how do you expect other people to tell you the truth? You can't even tell yourself the truth.
It's a net negative.
Yeah. Anything you got?
Honestly, I think you so eloquently bodied that. Like, it cracks me up because you always go on a rant where you will say the most fire shit, executed perfectly, and then be like, I don't know if that made sense. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Because I'm trying to work on my speech better. Because I don't know. I don't know what happened. I always thought I was really good with how I articulated. As you could tell, like, I mess up my words a lot. But somewhere along my life, as I got older, I just started stuttering. I should probably get a brain scan. I probably got, like, a fucked up brain. I probably got CTE or something. But, yeah, that's why I say that, because I take a lot of pauses. Or if not, I'll stumble my words or stutter over my words. Or if not, I'll say a word I was trying to say, like 10 words before I was supposed to say it. And so then I feel like it throws everything all off, and it doesn't sound as clean. Like, even right now, I'm still, like, pausing and stuttering.
You ready for this? It's all in your head. Because
right.
Most of that we don't hear.
Okay. Like, yeah, I mean, that's true. It's true. Because in my head, it sticks out to me like crazy. Like, even today, like, I was making phone calls for work, and I stumbled a little bit, and, like, I called myself out on it on the phone, but I could tell the other person was just like, okay. But I don't know, for me, like, I guess, obviously, I'm me. I'm with me all the time. So I notice it more than anyone else. But I don't know. Maybe I just over-amplified it.
Goddamn.
It's getting late. Gotta hit the gym before I go to sleep and go to work.
Getting right out of here to the gym.
Yeah. So that being said, man, episode 28, Lost Boyz Podcast.
This was a fun one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the conversation.
I feel like we say this after every episode.
I know. The next episode is going to be even better, trust me.
Facts.
But, yeah, no, for sure. Definitely comment down below what you guys think, what your opinions are on anything I said or we said. And, like, really explain why you think that and how it's applied to your life, whether it be for the good or for the bad. And, yeah, comment down below and let us know. Because I'm actually genuinely curious. Yeah. I want to have dialogue and really understand other people's perspectives, because I don't want to always share my perspective and think I have the right one, because I know that's not true. There's got to be a perspective where I'm wrong, and I'm sure there's plenty. So please comment down below, share that. And then, yeah, the Google form. I don't know if you want to talk more about that.
So like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, just be on the lookout. By the time this airs, it will be live. We'll have it on like the socials. We'll have it down in the, what is this called? The description below as well. It'll just be a link where you can go in there, and it'll be like one question, a conversation, idea, a topic, something you're going through in life, anything like that you just want to hear us talk about or hear another perspective on. Or maybe it's something you're not going through. Maybe it's something in the world and you want to know how it's going to affect us, right? Like, drop that down below. We'll talk about it. But please keep the conversations relevant. I don't care. Don't talk to me about no fucking, like, oh, a bee in Sri Lanka died, right? Like, be serious. Hopefully.
Yeah. You're right. And it's anonymous, so if it's something sentimental or deep to you that maybe you wouldn't want us knowing that it's coming from you, that's like a perfect place to say it, because we won't know. It's all anonymous. So, yeah, with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Please comment, subscribe again, and share it.
Ring the bell.
The post notifications on. And, yeah, stay tuned for next week's episode on Thursday at 12 p.m. It's Lost Boyz Podcast. Out.
Peace.